The upcoming new moon that is happening on October 21st, 2025 at 8:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, please adjust for wherever you are in the world, is happening in the sign of Virgo once again. And if you're like, hey, wait a minute, everybody's saying it's Libra, that's because the mainstream Western astrology actually has nothing to do with the stars. It is a purely symbolic social construct based on a static sky and imaginary lines in said static sky, and it only captures the lower three dimensions of our reality, the material world. This lens of astrology, true sidereal, is of the stars. That's what sidereal means. And the true part of the title refers to the fact that we're acknowledging the uneven zodiac and the inclusion of the 13th sign Ophiuchus. So you can see here that Virgo is a massive constellation. And so this new moon, the beginning of this lunar cycle, is actually the higher octave of the one that we are just completing now. It's because the last new moon was in the earlier degrees of Virgo. So it's the same theme, but it is up a notch as far as the spiral dynamics go. So it's similar types of themes, but faster and more refined and fitting with Virgo themes, the refinement. Okay, so as always with a new moon, we always have the moon and the sun at the same point. They're conjunct, right? So we have a combination of the masculine solar outward energy, the doing energy, and the feminine inward expansive energy, the receiving energy, giving and receiving, masculine and feminine, expanding and contracting, all of those polarities. Okay, so it's a combination of those. And if you're familiar with the fourth way, one of the laws of creation, the law of three in particular, says that for anything to be done, there needs to be a combination of equal doing masculine energy, receiving feminine energy, and blank space. So the new moon, the dark moon, the beginning of the lunar cycle is the seed of creation. And so this is why most generally interpreting lunar cycles, you make intentions on the new moon and then you release on the full moon when it's at the middle of that cycle. And the moon as itself is a catalyst to pull things. It's magnetic, right? It pulls things, receives the vacuum force, right? So at this point in the lunar cycle, the moon is pretty chill, but the rest of the chart, like there's a lot of intensity and tension in the chart in general. So overall, this moon is giving refinement, recalibration, nervous system upgrade. It really is a pretty big reset. There's multiple major configurations, clearing distortions, organizing the chaos, bringing precision, purification, and coherence, all the positive aspects of Virgo, while releasing the shadow aspects of perfectionism, analysis paralysis, needing things to be a certain type of way, and not actually getting things done as a result of striving for perfection in everything. Okay, so let's start off with the sun and moon itself in Virgo. We also have Venus in Virgo, so bringing an energy of values and relational agreements to the energy of Virgo. So we're experiencing a purification of the body and the mind, moving from perfection to precision, refinement as far as your rituals and systems are concerned, clarity through simplification, devotion over discipline. So the difference there is that it's heart-centered. It's coming from the feminine, and you're devoted because you want to be, not because you have to be, and you're not, like, that's discipline is externally motivated essentially. Well, also because Virgo is an earth sign, but it's ruled by Mercury, it does have to do with the nervous system. So detoxing from too much mental chatter, being in your head too much, and getting into your body, embodiment as spiritual hygiene. So getting out of the head, getting out of the future and the past, and being in the present moment just as it is right now is what all of this Virgo energy is asking you to do. The moon and the sun, so the new moon is actually involved in a grand cross, which has been going on all week and will be going on for a bit because these are slow movers as far as the three other components. So the lunation is opposing Chiron in Pisces in retrograde. So Chiron is the wounded healer. This is our biggest wounds around receiving, the feminine aspects, intuition, inadequacy, self-worth, all of those. So we have this tension between the new cycle and the positive aspects, setting intentions as far as the positive aspects of Virgo is concerned, while releasing the wounds around your receivership. The Pisces Virgo axis is really like that's mutable energy, right? So mutable water and mutable earth. It's flexibility, adaptability, and it is the most spiritual axis on the chart out of the zodiac, right? So we have basically the collective waters of the unconscious and the void, and that is what Virgo pulls from in order to build the things, right? So Virgo is the alchemist that takes the genius and the downloads from Pisces and builds something in the real world. It's the magic in the mundane, where this is like the magic in the astral, right? Like super spiritual, super physical kind of idea, right? So we've got this tension between the lunation and Chiron in Pisces, and then they're both making squares to Jupiter in Gemini, opposing Pluto in Capricorn. So this like expansion of a new thought paradigm, being curious, being able to entertain more than one perspective at once, pushing on Pluto in Capricorn, which is dismantling the old systems, the hustle and the grind, the patriarchy, anything that's putting your power outside of yourself. So this is like a big push-pull between the expansion of the new earth paradigm and the old systems continuing to limit us until they completely crumble as Pluto makes its way through Capricorn over the next 16, 17 years. It's going to be entering Aquarius in like 2041. I just made a video yesterday on that if you want more information on what that actually means. But Pluto's a generational planet, so this is like, it's not an intense effect. It's more of a subtle, long lasting effect. So we're going to see the dismantling of these systems, and we're going to be bumping up against this for some time because the energetic changes faster than the physical does. So overall, this Grand Cross is bringing tension with the goal of transformation. So that motivation to change based on the tension that we're experiencing here. The theme is healing that fixing addiction. So like accepting yourself just as perfect as you are right now, not falling into the shadow aspects of Virgo, feeling like everything needs to be better, but also being mindful that improvement and refinement are part of the human journey, right? So it's like taking steps to improve and refine yourself based on the understanding or understanding rather that you are perfect and whole and complete as you are right now. Nothing really needs to change, but you can if you want to, right? And again, also really leaning into embodiment over analysis, right? Like getting out of the head and into the body, and restructuring your beliefs around power and purpose, right? So putting yourself in a place where you are calming the body down and turning your attention inwards. And when you do that, you're creating safety in your being, which makes it so much easier to withstand the tension and the series of events that is going to come into play, radically change your life from the old paradigm to the new. We also have another aspect pattern that we're not seeing on this particular chart here involving the lunation, specifically at the apex of a yod. Okay, so the yod is a finger of God. Uranus in Taurus and Neptune in Pisces have a quincunx here, and then there's a 150-degree angle pointing towards the lunation. So this formation, known as the finger of God, the yod, puts tension or pressure on whatever is at the apex. So the lunation, the beginning of this lunar cycle, this new moon event, is feeling the pressure of the combined forces of Uranus, the innovator, the change maker, sudden changes, shakeups in your physical world, because that's what Taurus is your surroundings. That's fixed earth, your resources, your home, like these sorts of things, right? So sudden changes in your physical reality. And then Neptune in Pisces, which is a double whammy of that Piscean energy, the deep waters of the collective unconscious, the super spiritual, super intuitive, feminine void. Okay, so like this new moon is pretty important, okay? And I don't like to sensationalize. I feel like I've been saying that in so many of these videos the last series of months of like the waves of astrology that have been hitting us, but it's not meant to be like, this is going to make or break your life, but like these are some important energies. And at this time, I can't stress the importance of calming your body down and turning your attention inwards, right? And being mindful of the tensions that are coming up so that you don't fall into the external locus or the drama triangle feeling like a victim or a persecutor or the rescuer, right? Like really focusing on your internal landscape first. So like setting an intention to be in that positive refinement, alchemy, improvement energy of the sun and the moon in Virgo, and doing that from a place of heart-centered devotion. And if you can do that successfully and, you know, not react to the external environment, let it determine how you feel, you can literally change your whole world. And I feel like because Neptune in Pisces, especially along with the other aspects here, is making the veil pretty thin. And with Uranus and Taurus, that sudden changes are possible, right? Like, this is really giving miracle energy if you can calm your freaking body down and turn your attention inwards with practice, right? So choose that coherence over chaos. Bring practical devotion into your day-to-day. The magic and the mundane. Like, you can live a magical life and still be a regular human kind of idea, like changing the way that you're seeing spirituality and embodying it as a natural aspect of being a human being. Now, we also have another interesting conjunction causing some tension in this chart at the same time as we have the conjunction with the sun and the moon. We have Mercury and Mars right on top of each other in Libra. So this is bringing an energy of mental sharpness, verbal precision. Like, when Mercury and Mars are together, it's like how you're thinking and you're communicating and how you're acting are on point, and they're kind of fueling each other. Now, this in a cardinal sign can lead to some tension, okay? Cardinal is that masculine initiating energy. Libra is an air sign. There's a potential for some conflict or revelations involving relationships, especially because it is opposing Uranus and Taurus, which is sudden changes, unpredictable shifts in your physical environment, right? So you could have some sudden insights, flashes of clarity, but again, also with that intense initiating energy that comes with a cardinal sign, there is always a potential for conflict or stickiness, right? Also, breakthrough communication. The key, though, is speaking from alignment, not reacting, right? So not just being in your head and operating under the illusion of separation, but being mindful of the dynamic and the internal locus of control, getting yourself into a space where you calm your body down and turn your attention inwards. And from that place, you're able to then harness the empowered aspects of this conjunction of Mercury and Mars in Libra for breakthrough and revelation, innovation, these sorts of things, the positive aspects, and, you know, reduce your potential for relational breakdown or conflict or hostility as far as that is concerned. Misinterpretation, miscommunications, or there's a potential for that as well. Okay, so this opposition is also then supported by a Grand Trine that is happening. Now, this Grand Trine is a bit different in this specific chart because typically a Grand Trine is with either the same element or the same modality, right? So like here we've got Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, which is mutable water, and Jupiter in Gemini, which is mutable air. But the third element here is in Libra, which is cardinal air, right? So it's a little bit of a mix match, but it still is giving trines, right? So trines are supportive energy. So there's like harmony, support coming from Jupiter in Gemini, expanding your curiosity, wanting to learn new things, different knowledge, different perspectives. Gemini, the twins, holding both sides of a perspective at once, right? That harmony of being able to see both sides. So that is supporting this conjunction with Mars and Mercury in Libra, as is Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. So this devotional energy, devotion to your spiritual practice, the veil being very thin, being able to access what lies beyond the physical world. Okay, so that is all supportive energy, and it comes together to create a kite to support this tension between Uranus in Taurus and Mercury and Mars in Libra. So basically, this is the activation of inspired flow. The ideas that are grounded in structure and expansion are the ones that are going to be successful. Uranus is giving like a spark or ignition, innovation from a place of stability, right? So it's like this and that, like you can be stable and innovative at the same time. Sudden realizations about strategy moving forward. Stay tuned, like stay open to sudden insights as far as how to create a plan and a strategy to move forward with a new idea, novelty, something that is going to help the collective break free from the constraints of the matrix and build the new earth from the inside out. channeling that intensity into creation is the name of the game as far as this is concerned. The Grand Trine here is giving flow between logic, structure, and expansion. So this is really momentum with ease. It doesn't have to feel difficult. It doesn't have to feel overwhelming. It's slow and steady. Clarity of purpose, clear communication, architect energy, like building something lasting. And again, this idea of devotion and discipline, right? So like discipline with divine timing, taking time to rest, slow and steady, not rushing into anything, not acting from a place of scarcity or needing something to work out, but acting from a place of knowing that you are whole and worthy and complete as you are right now. And you are the conscious creator of your reality, or unconscious, depending on where you're at, but you're the curator of this reality. And how you feel is what determines what you're creating, right? So get out of your freaking head, get out of the external locus of control, get into your heart, calm your body down. And from here, the plan will make itself known. Now, we do also have some supportive energies here, a cradle on this side of the chart. So these social planets are all working together. Jupiter, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn are all working together to create or support more stability during this transformation. It's giving divine support network, synchronicities, allies showing up, protective energy also, like a cushion as far as the potential disruption on the other side of the chart. This is giving transformation doesn't have to be harsh. Evolution can be soft. There can be grace within your growth. Like you don't have to be rammy or like spazzy as it comes to these movements and developments. There is a time for speedy action, but that speedy action needs to serve the feminine energy. Remember that the masculine doing force serves the feminine receiving force. The feminine comes first. Everything is born from a womb. Everything comes from the expansive receivership that is the feminine, okay? So this is giving support to let you know that you can rest. You deserve to rest. And in fact, the more that you rest and the more that you learn to receive, the easier it is to act. And then the action becomes fun and easy, right? Like hard work is fun and easy when it's connected to your dharma. It's coming from a place of being heart-centered. So overall themes for this lunation, I would say in summary, we are looking at the idea of refinement and improvement from a positive heart-centered paradigm, not improvement because you're not good enough as you are right now, but improvement because that is the name of the game. That is the fun of being a human. You have the choice to do whatever you want, and harnessing the positive aspects of Virgo to facilitate that. It's giving system upgrades, mind-body coherence, heart coherence, moving from the head to the heart, focusing on freedom and innovation, detoxing from overdoing and overthinking, humility and mastery and working together, like calling in your spirit tribe. And on that note, let me invite you to Soultivation, our new heart-centered conscious community. I am going to be doing a moon circle for this lunation on Tuesday, October 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is free to join. I am accepting donations if you appreciate my work and would like to support me putting on these events, but you don't have to. You can, if you're just in a position where you can't donate anything other than your time and attention, come join the circle, come see us in Soultivation, connect with other heart-centered humans. Who knows, you might meet your soul tribe there, the people that you need to form the team. This is how Soultivation even came to be, was by a bunch of random happenstances and the connections that I've made on TikTok leading to the creation of this friggin' dream team that has come together to build this platform. So come on over. The link is in the top link in my bio if you're watching this on TikTok, or in the comments on YouTube. So working together in a synarchy is the new earth paradigm, right? Like it's collaboration over competition kind of idea. Everybody in a synarchy has different roles and expertise and a specific note to play in the symphony that is the human collective, but all of those notes are equally valued, and this is how we're meant to work, right? Like, you're not supposed to be doing everything all by yourself. You're supposed to be living in community, because that's how humans are wired, okay? So come on over to Soltivation, check out the community, check out the moon circle that I'm doing, heal your nervous system through connection with other human beings. So you can do a lot of healing on your own, right? But you really learn how much healing you have to do in relation as well. So clear that nervous system out, clear the channel. And as far as working with this lunation is concerned, I'll be going into more depth on this as far as the actual moon circle itself, giving questions for integration, but just thinking about what needs to be cleared or simplified, or maybe where can you build a system or a routine, a ritual to make things easier and have things run more smoothly, but have that plan be flexible, right? Like, the mutable energy is really salient in this lunation in the collective in general right now. Adaptability, structures that have a bit of give to them are more successful in the long run, right? So like thinking about where you can come up with a plan or a routine that is flexible and adaptable. Also thinking about like the idea of devotion and discipline in that context, right? So like, how can you devote yourself to this new routine? What kind of structures can support the ease and the flow of devotion to make it feel better? Because it's basically the same energy as discipline, but it's coming from within. I would also be considering where you are being too hard on yourself. Like, where is self-criticism and perfectionism getting you hung up and preventing you from taking action? And conversely, on the other side of that, like, where do you just need to rest? Like, how can you do less, essentially? Where can you give up this never-ending seeking of healing? How can you accept yourself exactly as you are right now? Like, how can you serve the whole without self-sacrifice? Like, the new paradigm is ease and rest and receivership, and from that place the doing becomes so much easier. So that's about all I have to say on this lunation. I would love to see you in Soltivation to chit chat about this and join the moon circle on Tuesday. I also have my weekly segment on Monday, Metaphysical Mondays, which is basically like a variety hour, and it is free to join as well. If you have any questions, you're free to pop them into Soltivation or hop on the live call and I'll answer them there. If you're new to this lens of astrology and you'd like to learn more, I'll have a bunch of resources, from a freebie to an ebook to a self-paced study course. And I am just on the verge of releasing the official launch details for my brand new Council Coven 6 Moon Right. It's a 6 moon container for feminine healers and mystics looking to learn how to understand themselves through the lens of true sidereal astrology in sisterhood, so they can pass this empowerment and embodiment on to the collective. So all the info for that is in the comments of this video or in the link in my bio. And if you're still listening to this transmission, thank you so much for supporting me with your ears and eyes and hearts, and I will see you in the next one.